if the purpose of life is to elevate our consciousness, I'm putting it in simple words, and to reach a certain light, if that, who or how or why is it been decided that this is going to be the purpose of life? I mean, who decides this, and who tells us that, okay, love is right? Who tells us that following the senses?
I will go back to the NDEs that I spoke to you about it.
Okay.
If you watch thousands of evidence of people who went through the upper and came back, people who had a cardiac arrest and things like that, you will see that they are saying that they walked into this place and someone told them, like an angel told them, I'm sorry, it's not your time. You have to come back.
Right.
We have thousands of evidence of that.
Yeah.
This gives you a hint that there is a reason why you are here. Right. You understand? A mother that just that died in the hospital during delivery, and she almost died, and the light asked her, like the angels asked her to come back, because she need to go through the journey. The purpose of life is the journey, to go through that. If you see some Osho videos, you will see that he say that life doesn't have a purpose. Osho doesn't mean that life doesn't have a purpose. Of course, there is a purpose for everything. But what he means is living in the now. It means fulfill your journey. Go through the journey to bring yourself to a higher level of consciousness. You understand? Right. So this is the answer to your question, that no one actually decide what you need to do here. This is, you are being sent here in a cycle, in the cycle of light. You will come here, you will get a body because you will have here to express yourself. The soul can express herself only with a body here. Unfortunately, there is not enough tools here in this incarnation to do it without a body. So the soul get a body, and body is like any other thing, like the tree, like the mountain, like everything have a cycle of diminishing, and after that it goes. So you are being born and you die, and the soul herself go through the experience in this life. That's the reason you are here. Right. And you have to hope that you will not have to come here, because life is about suffering. People will translate it as suffering because the senses are translating the experience as a suffering.
Correct.
In Buddhism, you can read about it.
I know. That's the suffering you spoke about. And I was listening to you so deeply, I lost track. Okay. When you say that souls want to go to that higher level, now looking at the population of the countries, say, for example, China and India, the souls are coming back like nobody's business.
Because of the level of maturity. Understand? If the soul, for example, experience a deep connection to emotions. For example, in astrology, you have this expression by water signs. Water signs sometimes go through an experience of life that is not so easy, especially from the point of view of emotions. Okay, and other there's like earth signs will go through the experience of emotions, and maybe also regarding money and financial situation. So the soul have to go through this experience. So the purpose of every incarnation to come is how deep a person will move from one who don't know that we spoke about it, one who don't know that you don't know, into the experience of one that wants to know. Once the soul is starting to experience a level of wanting to and understanding the reason of this journey, then the soul have less and less and less dependency on being here. Some souls will come here to support other souls. You understand? Some souls will come to this incarnation to fulfill the journey with other souls. You can see many people talking about a twin flame or a soulmate or things like that. That I met someone that I never have fight with him. I'm only loving and all the understanding. Now, there are rare relationships like that sometimes people meet people from their own spiritual family. We have a spiritual family in the upper dimension.
Okay.
And our spiritual family, some of them sometimes come here to support us, to go through the journey together with us. And when the soul is ready, the soul will not have to come back. The soul will stay there, because in every dimension, there is another journey and another experience. And I'm writing in my book, The Light, about the cycle of these dimensions, that in every level, there is another journey and another purpose. And in this level, this is what we are going through. It's sometimes through suffering, sometimes through acknowledgement, sometimes through understanding what is life. Sometimes we come here to help other fellows who need to complete things in order to make the soul mature. Because everything is for a reason.
Right, everything is. You said that there are some very rare people come back and meet their soulmates, also remember their past lives. There are some people who go through hypnosis. When somebody goes through a therapy, past life regression therapy, isn't it possible that they are just, their imagination is very strong and they're making up stories?
Of course, absolutely. There is a... You have to understand, in India, they call it the illusion of Maya, the Maya.
Yes.
Sometimes the senses can cheat you so much that you become totally involved into the experience of the senses, that you really believe that what you see and what you are experiencing is true. You really believe. So you started, yes, there are people who have a very developed imagination. But let me tell you something so important. Even these people who lies and cheat and do everything just to get money or manipulate, even these people are coming from the same source like us. They are coming from the light. And because the soul is not mature enough, they will create a manipulative way to use their imagination and to use their inner experience, in order to generate money or to generate fame or illusionary things. Oh, absolutely, this is something. But you must understand the level of compassion that the soul have to experience here is to forgive those people who are also involved in something that I will never call it cheating others. I will say it's self-cheating. Because when you are going through something like, you're not cheating people. People will remember it for 5 minutes and after that they will forget it. But you are actually adapting ways that actually distracting you from seeing the ultimate truth. Why is it written in the book of Kohelet, the Jewish book Kohelet? It's written there is nothing new under the sun. What does it mean?
Yes.
What does it mean? The rivers will always flow to the sea, and there is nothing new under the sun and will never be. What does it mean? It means that everything that is connected to matter is always in a cycle of the matter. And this is in a lower level than us. There are levels. The cycle of the matter. You will see people in NDE that they are explaining. I came into the light and I saw these beautiful flowers and I saw these beautiful mountains and colors. And then an angel came to me. You understand? In the other dimension, we also have the matter. We also have the mountain, but it's in a different dimension. It's being expressed in a different way. All this is level of light. Because the light is the source. Yeah. If you go to the 7th dimension, to the top, it's being explained in the book of Razim, that it's all fire and there is only light. This is God. You understand? All this where God is. It's all light. There is not, the experience is total peace and nirvana. The soul doesn't need experience anymore. The soul doesn't need attention. The soul is in a total peace, in a stillness. You understand? So this is the reason what you said, that some people, when they're in this incarnation, they go through the journey. The mind, not the soul, the mind develop methods how to adapt to the suffering. And this is very, very tricky, because to adapt to the suffering, it can be a beggar that will cheat someone in the car and sell him something that is not real. It can be people who sometimes I see them and I never talk. I see them reading other people and telling them things from their imagination, or people who do all this magic and things like that, and actually they don't know what they are doing. You understand? So yes, there are people, but we must be loving and forgiving and have compassion also to these people, because they are going through a period or a time where the soul will have to look for the truth. And sometimes the way to the truth, to the ultimate truth, to the level that I said in the beginning, know that you don't know. Sometimes this level goes through a lot of bad things, a lot of self-cheating, a lot of self-lie. And our mission and our duty is not to look at them as something evil. You understand? We have to understand that the soul goes through something that it's a great suffering, like people who kill, serial killers, or people who do terrible things. You understand, to their fellow friends or people, because they are in the soul going through so much suffering. And we just have to wish them and send them love to help them to live this, to go through the journey in a very into the light, to go out of it, to detach from these delusionary things.
I was listening to a rabbi. I don't forgot his name. He's very old. He's online, and he said that when our children are small, we tell them go to school. When if he turns around and asks you, why should I go to school? You go to school because you have to pass school and go to college. Why should I go to college? Because you have to go to university. Why should I go to university? Because you have to get a job, then you have to get married. So what are we teaching our children, that, and the pressure on youth today to perform and to be the best, and therefore depression and suicidal tendencies come in. And what about parents who are conditioned to push because they have been pushed?